Welcome to This Week in Our Collective Heads. I'm Kevin.
I'm Patrick.
And we're reviewing the Games with Gold for Xbox and the PlayStation Plus games, which we do every month because, you know, we typically skip them.
Yeah.
We're also trying out a new format this week. We're going to go rapid fire and try to basically list the pros and cons and if it's recommended in under a minute per game.
Yeah.
So, here we go. Start
Ready,
off.
set,
Forza Horizon.
Go. Forza Horizon's a great racing game. This is more of the realistic racing games versus the arcade style. So if you like tweaking cars, if you like realistic cars, if you like being able to drive a car in a game that you could drive in real life, had you had the money to do that, you could do that. Soup up your car, get to race them, either keep increasing the stats, if you will, increasing the engines and transmissions and stuff, and upgrades. Yeah, you can do that, buy a new car, whatever you want to do, and be a pro racer guy. I actually think it's pretty fun if you like racing games. It's one of my favorites of the racing games that we've done recently.
All right. Next up, we have another recommended game. We have Amnesia: Memories. It's a choose-your-own-adventure anime,
yes,
which is amazing. It's fantastic. This game was free on PS Vita. You can also, with a mobile device, you can find the first episode for free on iOS, Android, wherever, and play through it.
Yeah.
You get to choose things. You can actually die. Which I thought was awesome. And you get to go through and you start out as a character with amnesia who's recollecting her memories and developing and figuring out her relationships and all that kind of stuff and solving a mystery at the same time. Highly recommended, and if you think it's something you might enjoy, go check it out on mobile platforms. And it's a wonderful game for Vita, and it also has a mini game of rock, paper, scissors and if you win, you get to bash the other character over the head with a hammer, and air hockey as a second mini game that comes with it. So yeah,
I thought you get to bash them over the head with whatever you won with, which would be very violent unless it's paper.
Yeah, you'd pretty much always choose rock or scissors. Scissors, you only have one round. Next up, Mirror's Edge.
Mirror's Edge. So it's a highly acclaimed game. Personally, I thought that there were some lacking bits to it in regards to gameplay, in regards to trying to fight people who are shooting at you. Mirror's Edge is a free-running, semi-dystopian future which has a Big Brother-esque feel to it. You run around building tops, and you are a runner giving information and things to people, and being able to transmit that in a way that isn't watched over by your big brother. So I thought it was pretty fun. I don't think that it's the most amazing game that some people will put it out to be. But if you haven't played this game, I do recommend it because the free running aspect of it's pretty cool.
All right. Next up, we have Datura, which was released on PS3. And as a person who plays a lot of games, I would say this is probably top 5 of the strangest games I've ever played. Your mechanics are walking around with the left stick. And it was originally a PlayStation Move game. Yeah. And so your way of interacting with the world is you have a disembodied, like the thing, hand that just kind of goes around and touches things. The controls are really finicky and not particularly conducive to anything. You can beat it. Okay, I'm not great at puzzle games, and it was only like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours for me. So it's a fairly short game, fairly short adventure. The ending in particular was really underwhelming. And so I don't recommend this one, but it is a very bizarre and strange game. So if you decide that you want to, not that we recommend this, but if you want to imbibe and then check something weird out, this might be the game for you. Otherwise, go ahead and skip it.
Yeah, Earthlock is a similar aspect. I would say skip this if you do not have the time. Earthlock is an RPG. There's a good amount to it. It has some interesting elements to it. It's a timed battle, by the way. So you are, and there is some manipulation in regards to that. So you can speed up and slow down your characters, just like some other kind of RPGs. Yeah. It is quasi-futuristic, quasi-magic. It's got a good blend of that. It's really cool, cartoony kind of feel, alien-esque look to some of the things, even though they're not aliens. But if you don't have the time, skip this. If you do have the time, if you don't have a lot of games on your back plate, or if all you do is play Games with Gold games, play this game. There's a lot to it. There's a lot of fun that you'll have. If you don't have the time, I'm sorry, it's going to take hours just to get into the meat of this game. So skip it if not.
All right, next up we have Lords of the Fallen, which was previously available for Xbox One. Now it's available for PS4. It's a Dark Souls-esque game. It's not as good. as Dark Souls, which is not saying a lot because I regard those games as top tier.
Sure.
The story, however, is much more deliberately laid out. So if the confusing, like, deep cuts for lore and everything is something that has discouraged you about Dark Souls game, maybe pick this one up. It also relegates you to, basically you can only do like a physical build. Magic is only supplemental. So if you play Magic, this is not the game for you. The thing that I had to get used to is I play squishy characters who roll a lot, and that doesn't work in this game. The rolling mechanic is in particular not working well. Also, when it comes to the bosses, they're big guys with shields of various sizes and attacks. There wasn't a lot of variety in the bosses. But there are several things that keep it from being a great game. It's good, not great.
Yes.
I don't recommend it unless you're desperate for some kind of fantasy action RPG.
Yeah. What I would recommend, though, is Prince of Persia, The Forgotten Sands. This is the sequel, if I'm not mistaken, the sequel to The Sands of Time.
Yes.
And this is where, in my opinion, the Prince of Persia games took the mantle from Tomb Raider and said, I got this, I'm going to make it better. You have some great platforming, which Prince of Persia did before Tomb Raider, if you guys didn't know. It has great platforming, and the rewind aspect is really cool. The battle systems, the battle mechanics aren't quite as good now because we're used to what I'd consider the Arkham level of third-person battling.
Yeah.
They didn't have it quite as locked in as they do now. It's still good, it's still fun, it's not as good as Arkham or God of War when it comes to battles, but I promise you for the platforming aspects of it, it's totally worth it. Check it out.
All right. Next up, we have Badland, which was originally released as an iOS game. So it's a tablet game basically, and you have very limited ability to interact with the world. You're basically flapping with your character guy that with his arms, and he's fuzzy. This is the only game I've ever played, and I've played Lemmings and a bunch of other games where you control multiple characters at the same time. This is the only one I've ever played where I deliberately tried to off members of my own clan because I wanted as few of them as possible to survive.
Yeah.
I did not like this game. It's very, very frustrating, and because you're controlling a herd of characters at time with a single control, a lot of times it felt like luck if I made it through. It feels like it should be a very tight control game, but because a lot of times when it gets tricky, they'll give you a bunch of characters or send it into super slow-mo or stuff. I wouldn't recommend this one.
Yeah. I would recommend Assassin's Creed Chronicles China. This is a game that I passed on quite a ways ago. This is a game I passed on quite a while ago because it is 2D. It is not a traditional Assassin's Creed game, but the gameplay is very tight. It is not about combat. It is about stealth. It is about not being seen and being able. It is about not being seen and being able to take out an attacker or take out a guard, or just completely not be seen and go around all of your opponents. And you get rated better on if you do that. And in fact, the battle system, if you are attacked from the front, just put down the controller, die, restart. It's not worth it. But the aspect of being able to kind of go in the shadows and everything is perfect. It's tight. It almost reminds me of like the Hitman Go kind of puzzly thing, but it's not a puzzle. Okay. Just being able to track stuff. Yeah.
There you go. And then Journey on PS4, PS3 is the last one we have on here. And go play Journey. Go play Journey again. Because it's free on Plus right now. There have been a lot more players in the game, and so you're a lot more likely to be able to interact with somebody.
The hype is real, guys. The hype is real.
This game is a really excellent emotional journey that is a metaphor for a great many things, and I highly recommend that you take 2.5 hours out and just play through it. There is no death or game over mechanic, and so this is a game that can be played, like Lego says, that they are ages 5 to 99 plus.
Yeah.
And this very much is the same. My girls beat this when they were 4. And so it's not particularly challenging, but it is very evocative and emotional. And we highly recommend it.
Highly recommend it. Highly recommend doing this one in one sitting as well.
Yes.
Yeah. those are the games. If you guys have differing opinions, or if you think that that we're great, then like, subscribe, all those kind of things, and let us know what you think about those games. We'll talk to you later. Thank you for watching This Week in Our Collective Heads and all the other cool content we've got here. If you liked that, subscribe and see stuff like this or different than this, but you'll like it, I promise.
Yes, we only give you the best quality content. We're nerds and we branch out into all areas, so we will pull from movies, from books, from all these different things that we experience and associate it with and put it next to video games. Video games are our main passion.
Oh, yeah.
And if it's yours, like us and message us. Talk to us.
Yeah.
Hit us up on Twitch. Hit us up on Twitter. Hit us up on Facebook.
Everything.
YouTube. Talk to us wherever.
We
don't have a lot of friends.
And we're TWIOCH everywhere, so it's easy to remember. Except for Twitch, which doesn't make sense.
Twitch
TWIOCH Gaming there. But go check us out, and we love you.
Thank you.